Bangladesh erupts in celebration as PM Sheikh Hasina flees amid unrest. Tens of thousands of Jubilant protesters flooded the streets of Dhaka on Monday, celebrating the dramatic departure of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who reportedly fled Bangladesh amid mounting calls for her resignation. After weeks of violent unrest and a nationwide crackdown, the Prime Minister's departure has paved the way for a caretaker government, likely led by the military, reported India Today. The atmosphere in Dhaka was electric as the news of Hasina's exit spread. Defying a nationwide curfew, crowds surged into iconic areas like Shahbag, Kawran Bazar, and Farmgate, eventually converging at the Prime Minister's residence, Ganabhaban. Samoyed reported that in a display of public defiance, some celebrants even climbed onto armored personnel carriers, symbolically taking control of the streets that had seen so much bloodshed in recent weeks. Monday's events marked a critical juncture in what has been described as the final battle to topple Hasina's government. After days of escalating violence, which claimed nearly 100 lives on Sunday alone, the situation reached a boiling point. Protest leaders, undeterred by the government's attempts to quash the movement, accelerated their plans, urging every family in Bangladesh to send one member to join the march to Dhaka. "We have advanced our march to Dhaka, Paved," said Asif Mahmud, a coordinator of the anti-discrimination student movement, in a call to action that has galvanized the nation. "We are calling upon all freedom-loving people to start their journey towards Dhaka tonight." As news of Hasina's departure circulated, local media reported that the Prime Minister had flown to India in a helicopter after being taken to a safe shelter with her sister. Meanwhile, the Bangladesh Army's Chief of Staff, General Waker Zaman, was seen holding emergency meetings with political and civil society leaders. A national address by the Army Chief, initially scheduled for 2 p.m., was postponed, intensifying the anticipation. The student-led protests, initially sparked by opposition to a quota system that reserved 30% of government jobs for families of 1971 Liberation War veterans, have evolved into a full-blown movement demanding Hasina's resignation. The July protests, which have already claimed over 200 lives, set the stage for the current wave of unrest. On Monday, students from various educational institutions gathered at Dhaka's central Shahid Minar, ready to join the march. As they moved through the city, police fired tear gas and sound grenades in an attempt to disperse the crowds. But the protesters pressed on, undeterred. "Our objectives, goals, and destination are clear. Victory alone is our goal," said student leader Nahid Islam, rallying the masses at Shahid Minar. "If the government continues to resort to violence, we want to let them know that we are looking at the Ganabhaban," he added. As Bangladesh braces for a potentially catastrophic day, the stakes could not be higher. Sunday's death toll, which included 14 police officers, highlighted the intensity of the clashes. Reports of armed members of the ruling Awami League party joining the fray have only added to the volatility. The government's response has been to tighten its grip on the country. An indefinite curfew remains in place, mobile internet services have been suspended, and social media platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp have been restricted in an effort to disrupt protest coordination. Yet, the protesters remain resolute. Meanwhile, international observers are watching with growing concern, deeply worried more lives will be lost at the planned mass march in Dhaka. Political leadership and security forces must protect the right to life, the United Nations Human Rights Office wrote on X, formerly Twitter, on Monday. As the day progresses, all eyes are now on the Bangladesh military and its next move. The world waits with bated breath to see if the final battle will lead to the fall of Sheikh Hasina's government or plunge the nation into further chaos.